Today's scone recipe may be unassuming in terms of appearance, but once you take a bite out of them, you'll be blown away by the intense cinnamon flavor that's happening inside your mouth. So stick around and I'll show you exactly how to make your very own cinnamon streusel scones. My name is Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making some cinnamon streusel scones. Now this sounds like the type of scones that you would want to enjoy for your next brunch, or you just simply love a bold cinnamon flavor in general, then why don't you give this video a like, and if you are new here and you're not already subscribed to my channel, then please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I make a new baking tutorial or short. I make new baking content every week, and my content is suitable for beginners and experienced bakers alike. Now if that sounds like you, and if you don't mind a little bit of self-deprecating humor sprinkled in here and there from time to time, then why don't you stick around for a little bit and make yourselves comfortable. And who knows, you might actually be surprised on what you might learn from me too. So today's scone recipe is pretty straightforward. It's essentially a cinnamon scone which has layers upon layers of cinnamon sugar for a scone that has an intense cinnamon flavor and is extra flaky as well, thanks to the way we are shaping them, which is basically using the biscuit method. But instead of making biscuits, we're making scones. It is then topped with some cinnamon streusel, to which I've added in some Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal to it as well, to give it a bit of extra crunch to them. And then it is drizzled with some cinnamon glaze for a scone that not only has an astounding cinnamon flavor throughout, but it also goes great with your morning coffee as well. So why don't we get started on these cinnamon scones now, shall we? But first, we are going to get started with some brown butter to be used for the streusels. So, to a medium-sized saucepan, though you can use a small one if you like, add in 3/4 cups or 170 grams of unsalted butter and melt it on the stove top on medium heat for 7 to 10 minutes or until the butter has browned. Make sure to keep stirring the butter as it melts so that the milk solids can brown evenly and not burn at the bottom. You'll know that your butter is ready once it has a nice browned color and a nutty and fragrant smell. Pour 113 grams of the butter into a heat-safe bowl and cover and chill in the fridge until the butter is completely solid. And if you have any leftover butter, just use it for any future cooking projects. Now let's get started on the scones. To a large bowl, add in 3 cups or 375 grams of all-purpose flour that has been sifted to ensure some fluffiness in the scones. 3/4 cups or 150 grams of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and mix together until fully combined. Add 3/4 cups or 170 grams of unsalted butter that's been chilled and cut into cubes, and using a pastry cutter or 2 forks, cut the butter into the dry ingredients until the flour has been thoroughly coated with the fat and it resembles fine breadcrumbs, and you can also easily clump it together with your hands. Make a well in the middle and add in 1 large egg, 3/4 cups or 180 ml of chilled heavy cream or buttermilk, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and using a spatula, mix together until you get a shaggy dough. Lightly dust your countertop and gently knead the dough by hand for 5 minutes or until the dough has just become smooth. And before I forget, let's quickly make the cinnamon sugar. Add 1/3 cup or 70 grams of granulated sugar and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon to a small bowl and just toss together until the sugar has been fully coated with the cinnamon. Shape the dough into a rectangle. I didn't measure this, so it's more like a rough rectangle, but the thickness should be around 1/3 of an inch. Add a layer of cinnamon sugar on top and do a single fold with the dough. That is, taking one end of the dough and folding it towards the center and then taken the other end and folded it over the first half. Then rotate it 90 degrees and flatten it again into a rough rectangle. Repeat this process 2 to 3 more times, depending on how flaky you want your scones to be. Try to aim for 3 single folds in total, but if you want your flakes to be more light and delicate, feel free to do an extra turn. I've done it before and it still turned out great, but for best results, please stick with 3 turns. Once you're done folding your scones, shape into a disc and cover tightly with some plastic wrap. Chill in the fridge for at least an hour. This will help the butter to firm up again and create those delicious flakes in the scones when we go to bake them. To make the cinnamon streusel, add 1 cup or 125 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of salt, half a cup or about 110 grams of packed light or dark brown sugar, and 1 cup or about 100 grams of Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal to a medium-sized bowl and just toss them together. Then add in the chilled brown butter that we had made earlier and cut it into little cubes and cut it into the dry ingredients using a pastry cutter or 2 forks until the streusel resembles pea-sized crumbs. Take the chilled dough out of the fridge and divide the dough into 8 pieces using a sharp knife or bench scraper. Place the scones onto a large baking tray lined with some parchment paper and make sure to space them 2 inches apart. Sadly, I didn't have a baking tray quite big enough to space them properly, so you may have to gently separate them once they are baked. So I guess for now we are baking them biscuit style? You know, with them baking up close together to get the extra height. And then just brush on some extra heavy cream or buttermilk on top of each scone. I used about 2 tablespoons worth of liquid here to brush them with, so just really make sure to give them a generous coat to each scone so that they can brown nicely. Then add some streusel on top, and if a few fall on the sides, that's okay. Just carefully place them back on top because these will also spread, so you'll want to get a good amount on there. And then bake your scones in a 400 degree Fahrenheit oven or 205 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes or until your scones are lightly browned. As for this leftover streusel here, what do you guys think I should do with it? I know it makes a wonderful snack on its own, but I really need ideas on what else to do with this, so please let me know what ideas you guys have in the comment section below. And while the scones are baking, let's make the cinnamon glaze. To a medium-sized bowl, add 1/4 cup or 157 grams of icing sugar that's been sifted so that there is no lumps in our icing, 3 tablespoons or 45 milliliters of Cinnabon coffee creamer. Feel free to use vanilla or your favorite coffee creamer or even just plain heavy cream if you can't find any Cinnabon creamer. A pinch of salt, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and mix together until fully combined and the glaze is nice and smooth and thick. And I dare ya to eat this with a spoon. It's super good, and if you aren't careful, you just might eat the whole thing before you even get to glaze the scones. Don't say I didn't warn ya! Once the scones have been baked, take them out of the oven and just look at how beautiful our scones have turned out. I really like how the streusel looks on top of these scones. It's seriously making me hungry here. And remember when I said that these will spread out a little bit? Should your scones stick together like mine did, then just allow your scones to cool a little bit before carefully separating them using a knife. If you try to do this while they are still too hot, your scones will end up a bit dry on the inside, and nobody wants that now, do we? Gently stir your super addictive cinnamon glaze and, using your spoon, add a generous drizzle of the glaze on top of each scone. God, this looks absolutely stunning. It's literally making me drool all over my keyboard as I'm watching this. I mean, they don't call it food porn for nothing now, do they? Once all of your scones have been glazed, it's ready to be served. You can enjoy them on its own or for brunch, or, my personal favorite, enjoy it as part of your morning coffee with some extra cinnamon coffee creamer, of course. Super simple and effortless. I really hope that you enjoy these scones, you guys. And there you have it, cinnamon streusel scones. In what is essentially a cross between a cinnamon roll and a scone, these scones are perfect for the cinnamon lover in your life, and you'll definitely will want to have these as part of your daily morning ritual. See how flaky these scones are? There's layers upon layers of cinnamon goodness inside of these scones. And look, the glaze isn't all that bad either. I just love how crunchy this streusel came out on top. It looks really good. Also, can I just say just how incredibly delicious these scones truly are? Like, the cinnamon flavor is just spot on here, and I just love how buttery and flaky these scones are on the inside. And the streusel and the glaze on top was a really good call here. And I honestly think that this would be a wonderful addition to your breakfast or your morning coffee, or just any time really to enjoy them. I promise you guys, you will not be disappointed with these scones. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed today's recipe and you liked what you see here, please give this video a like and leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of them, especially if you're going to give this recipe a try. Share this video so that others can also have a chance to give these cinnamon scones a try. And if you're not already following me, where you enjoy the baking content that I do on here, then please smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I make a new baking tutorial or short. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Both usernames are Tiff's Patisserie, and the full written recipe to today's cinnamon streusel scones will be on my website, tiffspatisserie.wordpress.com. The link to that is in the description box down below. And until next time, you guys, stay safe out there, peace out, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Now it's about time for me to enjoy another one of these scones, as well as to enjoy it with some coffee. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!